Nemesis will conquer them all. We are the Earth's guardians of the land. Unleashing thunder, fire, water, wind, earth, frost, solar, and lunar, hand in hand, riding the waves of power.
Hey guys, Stellar Christoph here with another Alestrals video. Today we're going to do a deck profile on my water deck. It is Galaxy based with a side Nexus, which a lot of Galaxy decks do run a Nexus into it as well. So I got my main deck we'll go over, spirits, and then side deck. Alright, so we're going to go over the main cards of this deck. Like I said, it is Galaxy based, so I do have 3 Galaxies. I do run the promo Stellar Galaxies, so of course, you know, we got to try to bling out our deck as much as possible. So we got those right there. Next up, I'm going to have 2 Moss Stations. This is going to give us the big defense, but then also when we have our Galaxea out, it's going to give us a very high attack stat. I do not plan on using its special ability at all while I'm using it in this deck. Worst case scenario, if I have to, which if you guys did not know, you expend a Water Spirit to switch the attack and defense of it. You can only activate when an opponent normal casts an Alestral. Or can also be activated. So it can be activated on your turn or your opponent's turn, but on your opponent's turn, it's only when they summon their normal cast. So I got 2 of those. Typical water decks lately have their Dratugas, so I also have 3 of those. And most of my decks, I try to have different versions of each card. So I do have 3 versions of this. Dratuga from the main Frostfall, from Shattered Stars, and I also have the Stellar from Shattered Stars. So put that in a different order for you, but I run 3 of those in this deck to get that awesome recovery. Water is known for getting that recovery back. I believe there was one person, it was either casual tournament or the actual main tournament, that altogether they used, I think, almost 40 spirits in that game, which you're only allowed to have 20 in your deck, and that's because of Dratuga. That's because of other water cards that let you heal. Aepharos, again, I've seen a lot with Galaxy, but also just to have that Nexus ability as well in the deck, and then its Nexus is you can Nexus up to 2. When you do, you draw that many cards. So 1 for 1, 2 for 2. So I got 3 of these. Again, I have 3 different versions. I have our main first edition, I have our Hollow Kickstarter, and I also have Stellar from Kickstarter. So again, 3 of those in this deck. I run 2 Bubloon. Bubloon switches any water and channel Alestrals attack and defense by 2, so ups it. So good to have that out as well. Foamy, again, I got 2 of these in the deck, but trying to get my Galaxy, or really any card. All my water cards are 1 cost, so it works out good, especially with, say, Dratuga. Say they destroy this and I need to heal, or I have a plan up, I need more spirits, I can go ahead and bring this guy out and then use its special ability. It is important to remember with Foamy's ability, they come up into defense position. So Galaxy, of all these cards, would be the absolute worst card to use on this, unless it was my opponent's end turn. Because again, when you switch the attack and defense, it's going to be a 2 defense. A lot of cards are going to be going over that. And just for the heck of it, I have 2 Necruff in this deck. I will tell you, I do have 2 Fire Spirits, only because if I go up some of the fire deck and say they're playing Eruption, just to kind of save myself, I really don't plan on bringing him out as a fire unless I think I can win the turn with his ability that they must expend. But that's it for the Alestrals. Again, just fire. You got a 5 attacker too, so the only thing to remember is if I do enchant him with water and I play Galaxy, he needs to be in defense the entire time, and then he'll be a wall technically. He already has a 5 attack. Switch that to defense. You know, say I have my Stadium Rune out or Bubloon out, that's just going to up that defense even more. Alright, next we're going to be going over our runes. So Ambrosia is a staple in all decks. Because I have the Dratugas and there's so much healing done with the Dratugas, I only have 2 Ambrosias, and that's to bring out my other spirits that I need that aren't water. So I got 2 of those. I'm going to run 2 poison-tipped arrows. I have 2 Gorgon's Gaze. Shield of Achilles is my favorite next to Tsunami for counter runes. So I have these. Again, it bumps the card back to your opponent's hand, and it's going to cost them that much more to summon it. I know a lot of people say poison-tipped arrow, will actually destroy the card, not send it back to the opponent's hand. But again, it's kind of either or on that one. With this card, they can still attack you. They can still destroy cards and deal damage. At least with my shield, it's gone immediately as they attack. I do have one Altar of Stars, only because I only have one Altar of Stars to put in this deck. But again, gives you that extra Nexus, and then it changes battle position. So, God forbid they turn my Galaxy to defense position, they try to swing into it, I can go ahead and play Altar, put it right back into attack mode, and then destroy or crash into the Celestial that's attacking it. We're going to round it off with a couple Earthquakes. And that's going to be our other runes that aren't water. So again, we're running a water deck. Everything water is Nexus. So you got Tsunami. With Tsunami special, or not Tsunami, I'm sorry guys, Poseidon. Cost you 1 to play, you can add 3 more onto it. So it's going to be up to 4. Its natural ability is to Nexus. So again, you're playing Ampharos, you're playing Dratuga. You can keep Nexusing cards onto Dratuga once a turn. And then keep healing all those cards back. All the spirits back. And then I got 3 Tsunamis. Again, this is a water deck, so it would make sense to play a full playset of Tsunami. 2 Atlantis. Again, powering up further my Elestrals. I already got the Bubloon, so I didn't see a point to have a third one. And the last card I'm going to put in this deck is going to be our Rise of the Depths. I got 3 of those. If anyone doesn't know, this is Rise from the Ashes, but a lot cheaper and only costs, but it's water. It's only 4 water Elestrals, but I have to make sure I have Atlantis on the field. So if I'm going to play this, I need to be strategic. I need to wait for the right time to play it. But I got 3 of these. Again, if my opponent takes control and destroys my Galaxy or any other cards I have, again, if I have Atlantis out, I can play 3 of these in one turn, stack up my field, go ahead and attack into my opponent. But there you go. These are the runes I'm running in this deck. Next up, we have our Spirits. I'm running 2 Vipyros. Again, just in case I'm going up someone that has a fire deck, bringing my Necruff out with fire, even misenchanting one of my other water Elestrals, or going a step further. Instead of summoning that turn, I can take a Fire Spirit and add it to my Elestral that's on the field, just in case my opponent is running Eruption. It's just a nice backup plan to have. I don't plan really to use it all. Again, I have Ambrosias, I have Gorgons, PTAs, I have multiple cards I can use this for instead. And again, that's why I have the 2 Ambrosias in this deck, to strictly go toward my non-water spirits. But speaking of non-water spirits, I'm running 2 Terratlas just so I can pop off those Earthquakes. And then we're going to round out, we have 16 of our Leviathans. Again, we are running primarily water, and with Dratuga, we're going to be healing water and using water constantly. So I don't really have to worry about healing that as well, or as much, but like I said, that's the main reason I have my Ambrosia in the deck, is for these 4 right here. And last but not least, I'm going to go over our side deck. I'm trying to make sure all my decks have side decks, just in case, say I go into a tournament, being prepared for different scenarios, or if I want to change my game style mid-tournament. So again, my first one's going to be Tadpuff. Tadpuff is just a really good card to have because you can special cast it on your turn. It is special cast into attack position, but my reasoning is, especially having cards like Ampharos, being able to Nexus, so on my turn or whenever I need to do a power play, I can special cast this guy. It's cost me 1, and then I can ascend it into the Ampharos, which will give him 2 spirits, and I can Nexus right off the bat and do whatever I need to do. I just think it's a really good card to have. I love the point of special casting to get something else out. I will tell you, as of right now, this deck does not run any 2 cost. So the whole point of this is to give my other cards an advantage moving forward. Or even if I want to go a step further with Necruff, and I can special cast this, ascend into Necruff, and then Necruff will have water and fire. He'll be protected from Tsunamis, and then he'll protect me from Eruptions. Next up is going to be our Veritaqua. Again, I run 3 Tsunamis and an Altar of Stars, so that's 4 cards that can turn my opponents to defense. And with his special ability, when he battles a defensive Celestial, it automatically is destroyed, and it costs me no damage. Oysteress is another card that's been seen really good in water decks. For every enchanting water on the field, it gets +1 defense. And then with Galaxy's ability to switch attack and defense, this can be a complete monster. There's a buddy of mine who I will keep unnamed, but one time I was playing him, he got this to a 13 attack. So just something to think about, guys, especially with water Nexus and the healing. Just something to look at. This guy can be a powerhouse. Depending on the situation, it's going to attack over Centarbers. It can probably get up to a Trifernal and even a Penterror. So just something to keep in the back row, the back just in case. The runes I have in this are going to be 2 Triune of Poseidons. Again, if I want to go ahead and say I can't get my Galaxy out, this will power up a card. But the main reason I have it is for it blocks counter runes. whoever's equipped to it can't be targeted, and then if Poseidon's on the field, your opponent can't even cast counter runes. So again, making most of their back row useless to them. Pandora's Box, just in case I need to block a search. Say I'm running against a Thunder Nexus or a Wind Toolbox, just something to have to block them from searching. You know, say they got their Elachics or the Joltons, whatever the case may be. And the last two cards I have are Circle the Sky. Again, not a card you see played a lot, but the fact that water is mainly Nexus, I figured just to have an extra card that will help me do the Nexus. And again, every time you use the card and you do Nexus at least one, you're going to draw a card. So just something else to have in the deck. But that's all I got for you guys today. I appreciate you guys watching the video. If you're new, subscribe, like this video, comment down below any other deck builds or any other questions you guys might have for me. My name is Stellar Christoph. I hope you guys all have a stellar day. See ya.
The night, really power so bright. Harnessing the elements, in the name of the gods we fight. Zeus decided the best just to meet